We're recording at night.
What? Welcome to Creepy Conversations. I'm Nikki and I'm eating.
I'm Kalai and I'm the stupid one.
That's so stupid one. You didn't have to say that, please.
So that they'll know what? Yeah.
She's just trying to prove this. Oh my god. Yeah, we're doing this at night because things are happening. And also, it's 9:30 in the evening. I had to work late, so we had to start late. My brain is goop. How are you?
How are you?
Oh my god, this feels so awkward. We're off our element, guys. We'd like to apologize for that.
Because it's nighttime, and I've been awake since 1 a.m. the other day.
What have you been doing?
Oh, my last shift, and then I didn't sleep because I might not wake up for our recording.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I kept you late.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay because so that my body clock would adjust to regular time, not night shift anymore. But yeah, that's it. So you guys should not overwork. Later on, you'll find out also that overworking is bad for you. Also a jab to whoever made Nikki overwork.
I love my job. Please don't fire me. I need this job. But yeah, you guys really need to take care of yourselves.
This podcast needs Nikki's job.
So true. But you guys really need to take care of yourselves. Don't overwork yourselves and get enough sleep. Don't try to kill yourselves, man.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, before we start this episode, trigger warning, this episode, there will be talk of torture, violence, and suicide. So this episode, we're going to be covering the suicide of Danny Chen. Sources for this episode are New York Times, the New York Magazine. There's an article in there by Jennifer Gonerman, which majority of the information that we have came from that article, NBC News, and Wikipedia. So Danny Chen was an American U.S. soldier who served in Afghanistan in the early 21st century. Why did I not edit this out? But yeah, as the title of this episode is, he committed suicide, and the investigation found that Danny had been racially harassed. He was teased, bullied, and mercilessly beaten by his fellow soldiers before he took his life. In Afghanistan, he didn't even he wasn't even able to go home. And yeah. So Danny Chen was born on May 26, 1992. He was raised in Chinatown, Manhattan, New York City, New York, by parents who had immigrated from mainland China. Both of his parents didn't speak English or read in English, and even until now, they're still not fluent in English, which is something that I find to be really brave.
Amazing.
Yeah, because you migrate to another country without speaking or understanding a single word.
Yeah,
it's hard as fuck. Even traveling to another country where you don't understand, just visiting. It's hard.
It's such a chore.
How much more, yeah, you have to work and shit. So yeah, I feel this would resonate with a lot of immigrants in the U.S. or immigrants not just in the U.S.
in
all
general.
over the world. Who go to these more developed countries. Am I saying that right? Whatever. To seek asylum and to have a better life. But yeah, Danny's father worked as a chef, and I think he still is a chef in a Chinese restaurant, and then his mom was a seamstress, and both of his parents came from Taishan, which is a coastal city in Guangdong province in China. And I feel we've covered this city. I could be wrong.
No, it sounds familiar, but I also have a feeling
Yeah.
it's the city that we mentioned in our previous episode.
Last week.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like it is that. But yeah, Danny himself, despite being born and raised in America, didn't speak English at first until he started like attending school because he was like raised by his parents, obviously. What is wrong with me?
No, it makes sense, yeah.
And his pre-K and kindergarten teacher, Rennie Fong, said that compared with his peers, Danny had an advantage because he had such a loving mom. Like, his mom was very, like, supportive of him. Danny himself was also, like, he was obedient. He was a good kid, and he studied a lot, and he was very attached to his mother, that his friends would refer to him as a mama's boy, which I think is like a very common thing in Asian culture.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's
a lot
not
of our
bad.
male friends, are like they're close to their moms. Yeah. Danny's mom made sure that she was the one who dropped him off and that she was also the one who picked him up every day. She went to school trips with him and like she made sure that he was focused and like on the right path. And then by the time he reached first grade, Danny was like not only fluent in English, but he had won a slot in like the school's gifted program. So he was
That's
smart.
nice.
Yeah. And they loved him. His parents loved him so much that they moved out of Chinatown because he was asking for his own room. Like, not when he was a kid, like when he got older, he asked for his own room because he was sleeping in his parents' room. Like, he was literally like inches away from his parents, which is also another common thing in Asian culture.
That's such an Asian thing.
Yeah, to still sleep with your parents even when you're old.
My sister sleeps with mommy. Like,
yeah,
our editor.
That's a very very common thing in our culture. A lot of us like don't even move out. Don't even move out. Period.
Yeah, but even after marriage, there's still the folks.
Anyway, so what was that? Yeah. They chose like a more spacious place with 2 bedrooms so that Danny could have his own room. And for me, he deserved it. He was like a very nice kid. So like an example of how nice he was, a group of boys tried to rob him, but he got away and he was able to call the cops, and they drove around with him in the back seat to track down the group of kids. And when they were able to like catch the kids, he found out what is happening to me?
Take a breath.
He found out that they were young, and so he decided to like decline to press charges because he was worried that a conviction might harm their future. Like,
I would never
like
think that.
Same. Or I don't know, we've never been in that situation before.
But knowing myself,
But-
I think I wouldn't be as, I don't know, accommodating.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how nice he is. And when he was in middle school, he accidentally hit a classmate with a ball, and it enraged the girl's boyfriend so much that he started kicking Danny. And according to like his friend Jing Mei Huang, that he like didn't flinch at all. He just walked away. And then when his friend asked him why he didn't fight back, he just said to let it go because, you know, he just didn't like confrontation. And
That feels like such an Asian thing.
yeah, that too. And also he was a good student. Like, according to his classmate, Danny would fall asleep in math class and wake up when the teacher called him, and he would still give the right answer. So he was like the typical Asian stereotype.
Oh my god,
The
stop! 'Cause
good
that's
kid,
me.
good smart, smart kid.
My god.
That was Nikki. I was the opposite. I was like sleeping. Period.
It just gave me flashbacks in high school wherein we would have like quizzes, and then after a quiz I would sleep, And then, okay, this is cheating actually. This is not the same case. But my seatmate would wake me up, switch our papers, and make me solve her quiz. I'll let you know who after we record.
She did that willingly. My sister is also like that. Like, she would sleep, and then, like, if she gets called. My sister and I are not the same. She's the smarter one. Is it an eldest thing?
I don't know. Because all my other sisters, they're like straight A students. I was the black sheep, so...
Oh, okay. Anyway, so he was even Danny was even granted a full scholarship to Baruch College. I don't know if it's pronounced as Baruch or Baruch. I feel like it's Baruch.
Baroque.
But it's RUCH.
I have no idea.
Baruch, right? Whatever. Let us know if you guys know. Yeah, for the New Yorkers out there. So, which is why when Danny told his best friend Raymond Dong that he wanted to join the army, his best friend thought that Danny was better off if he would stay in New York and take the scholarship in Baruch College. And Raymond even told him that he could do a lot better than join the army because he was so smart. But Danny told him, I want to live for myself and not for someone else. Because he knew that his mom didn't approve of him joining the army because he was the only child. And he told his best friend that he feared that his mom might disown him if he enlisted, so he signed up without telling her first. And when they found out, he informed them that he had this whole plan, that joining the army was part of this longer plan, that he planned to join NYPD and thought that the army would be good training. And because he thought joining the army and joining the NYPD would give him a steady income so he could help support his parents. That was his end game, to support his parents. Yeah, and then he basically knew what he wanted, and it was to join the army, and he didn't join the army because he needed to join it. He joined it because he was looking for an adventure. He even wrote in his diary on his way to basic training on January 2011 that he was excited as heck. And if you're young and you don't have a lot of money and you want adventure, I feel like if you're in the US, the easiest way would be to join the military, because if you're broke and you just want adventure, you don't want to stay in your hometown.
Yeah.
The easiest way to get away is join the military, which is kind of fucked up because
and I think
you join the military. Yeah, they are. And which is fucked up because he was only 18. You join the military, you're young, you get mixed with people who are older than you. It's like a potion for power tripping, True. I feel like there should be a better system, mix the kids with the kids so that there won't be abuse happening. Anyway, one of the first few letters that he sent to his parents were, "Dear Mom and Dad." He wrote this in January 2011. He said, "I'm suffering here, but it's not too bad so far." He also said in one of his letters that, "I love this place," because it was very different from his life. And it wasn't all bad at the beginning for Danny's training. His letters, he was actually enjoying it. He was what do you call this? Meeting new people that would never encounter living in New York. But I feel because he was too young, he didn't expect to meet these types of people.
Yeah.
Because he mentioned in his letters that a lot of the people that joined the military were from the South. So they were into country music, and because he's a city boy,
it's a different experience.
It was a new thing, yeah, for him. And because Danny was Asian American, he was Chinese American, he did stand out. In his letters, he said, "Everyone knows me because I just noticed I'm the only Chinese guy in the platoon." He also said that his fellow recruits would call him Chen, Jackie Chan, and Ling Ling, which is
oh my god. Really? We're not over this yet? Jeez.
despite what he was facing, he still wrote, like, "Don't worry, no one picks on me. I'm the skinniest guy and weigh the least here, but people respect me for not quitting." And then in another letter he wrote 4 weeks later, he said, "They ask if I'm from China like a few times a day. They also call out my name, Chen, in a goat-like voice, sometimes for no reason. No idea how it started, but now it's just best to ignore it. I still respond, though, to amuse them. People crack jokes about Chinese people all the time. I'm running out of jokes to come back at them." That's what he wrote to his parents.
I feel like he's like just saying those things to try and appease his parents. Like, I don't want you guys to worry. I'm fine here. But this is what's low-key happening. You know? It's so
I feel like deep down inside he was like worried. Yeah, and to think he wanted to join he wanted to serve his country. So fucked up. But yeah, soon in mid-March, it was starting to like get hard for him because a lot of the recruits that he started with were like dropping out. And in his letter, he said, "People here are leaving left and right now. Everyone is getting stressed, fractures and broken legs. And there's like fighting going on." And he also said, "All of the weaker people have left and gone home for 30 days to heal. I'm the weakest one left." But despite all of that, he eventually completed his basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia in April 2011. And then he was assigned to C Company 3rd Battalion, 21st Infantry Regiment. I don't know why I'm saying this.
I don't even know what it means.
This is all about. Yeah, but he was eventually assigned to like a base in Alaska. He was able to like experience life. Like he was able to like join keg parties, and like he was able to like visit houses that he had a friend whose house was like near the base, and they had like Call of Duty and like shit like that, where he was able to like, you know,
be a teenager.
Enjoy. Yeah, but eventually in August 2011, he was deployed to his unit in Kandahar province in Afghanistan, which is a place known as the Palace, and that place is known to be like a rough area, not just for like American military or US military, but like other countries like Canadian military have also said like that place is scary.
Intense.
Yeah. Danny turned 19 in Alaska. He was part of like a brigade called the Arctic Wolves. But yeah, when he arrived I forgot to mention that before he arrived in Afghanistan. So yeah, when he arrived in Afghanistan, he was technically like at the bottom. Like he was like socially, because he was a newcomer, he was a teenager, and a big factor was he was Chinese American.
Asian.
Yeah. And his superiors had considered him not fit enough when he arrived because he was like slim, he's skinny, you know, like the typical Asian man who like even
like
if they
flimsy.
work out a lot, yeah, they're still slim. So yeah, because of that, they forced him to do like excessive physical exercise, like push-ups, flutter kicks, sit-ups, while carrying a sandbag. And that thing is like known, like you're only supposed to do that when you're being punished, not for like regular exercise. So they were like, it was like they were punishing him every day. Yeah. He was allegedly harassed and humiliated almost every day, and they would constantly use racial slurs. They forced him to do push-ups with a mouthful of water, refusing to let him swallow or spit any out. And on September 27, a sergeant allegedly yanked him out of bed and dragged him across about 50 yards of gravel toward a shower trailer as punishment for forgetting to turn off the water pump. Like, that's what they did. Just because he forgot.
Is that necessary?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know how the punishment is with the military people, but I feel like that's too much. He endured like bruises and cuts on his back.
What I'm wondering is if that happened to someone that's not Asian or Asian American, would they have done the same thing? I'm wondering.
Yeah, most likely not. I'm pretty sure that they were extra hard on him because he was different than they were.
Yeah.
Because they were all white. The people who tortured him were white. Yeah. The leader of his platoon found out about the incident, but he never reported it, even though they're supposed to. They're literally required to report abuse, and he didn't do anything. And on the morning of October 3, 2011, Danny was assigned to report for guard duty at 7:30 a.m. Once he arrived at the tower, he realized he forgot his helmet and that he didn't have enough water. I feel like he was like forgetting things because he was so tired. So yeah, his superior sent him back to the trailer to get what he needed, and then he was allegedly forced to crawl with all his equipment across 100 meters of gravel towards the tower. And while he was on the ground, rocks were thrown at him by his supervisors. And once he reached the tower, a superior of his grabbed him by his body armor and dragged him up the steps. The soldier that was relieving him at 8 a.m. asked him if he was okay because he was like visibly shaken. And Danny just said, "No sweat." And so the soldier just left. But at 11:13 a.m. from inside the tower, they heard a gunshot and they found that Danny, unfortunately, took his own life. So I'm pretty sure one of our listeners are probably asking, why didn't he just quit? I'm pretty sure he didn't quit because he had a lot to lose. He didn't go to college, so like a lot was at stake for him to quit. And also another thing, torture makes you depressed. Like it makes you not think well.
Yeah.
And he's still young, so the fact that like his brain isn't fully developed, plus he's like being tortured every day. Like he literally told one of his squad mates, is that the term?
I have no idea.
Yeah, but he told one of his squad mates that he wanted to commit suicide because of like a certain supervisor of his, because he was like too hard on him. And no one did anything about it.
Yeah, no, I also have a feeling that he probably didn't even consider leaving, because in the first place he wanted that, and he went against his mother's will and joined this. So I mean, it's not to say that it was because of pride, but of course that also plays a part. I'm pretty sure we understand that in some certain aspects of our lives, because I know for a fact that that has happened to me.
That's true. Like, to those that are listening right now, quit. If you hate your job, quit. It's not that easy. It's easy to say it, but it's not easy to do because you know you've like poured a lot out of it. And I feel like the number one reason why he became so depressed and couldn't like make proper decisions anymore was because he was so fucking tired. Like I've had like instances where I was so tired and I got depressed for being so tired. And that happens, like as we were talking about earlier, overworking can cause depression. So yeah, so eventually there was an investigation and legal sequence, and his poor mom though, like they knocked on her door and she couldn't speak English. So she had to call her like cousin, and someone had to like translate.
Oh my god.
A family member had to like translate for her that her son died, and she didn't even understand at first. She even said like, he got shot, like is he okay? And then like the relative had to say no, he died. And they didn't even know that it was suicide at first. They thought that he got killed in the line of duty. And then they found out that there was an investigation going on. That's when they found out that it was suicide. So yeah, on December 21st, 2011, the U.S. Army charged 8 soldiers with various crimes relating to Danny's death. And I'm going to say their names because these people are not in jail, so that y'all listening would know that these people are still out there. So the first one is First Lieutenant Daniel J. Schwartz, Staff Sergeant Blaine G. Douglas, Staff Sergeant Andrew J. Van Bockel, Sergeant Travis F. Carden, Sergeant Adam M. Holcomb, Sergeant Jeffrey Hurst, I don't know what SPC is. Special something. SPC? What's that short for? Special?
Special in the head. I don't know.
So let's just say SPC Thomas Curtis, SPC Ryan J. Uffett. Defendants belong to C Company, 3rd Battalion, 21st Infantry Regiment, 1st Striker Brigade, Combat Team, 25th Infantry Division.
Woo!
So if y'all know what that is, that's that. They came from that. They faced various charges, including assault, bullying, dereliction of duty, involuntary manslaughter, maltreatment, making false statements, negligent homicide, and reckless endangerment. And like I said earlier, none of these people ever served time in prison. Even though they were charged, they were eventually acquitted. Some of them were just demoted.
Wow.
Some of them were just forced to do hard labor. And that's it. Some of them were just asked to pay a fine. But they're still in the military, or I don't know if they're still to this day in the military, but they were never in jail.
They moved on.
Yeah, they were able to have a life. That's how fucked up it is. And what's like fucked up was in the same year before Danny died, there was also another Asian American that committed suicide in Afghanistan. Like, they're not from the same like infantry at all, but his name was Harry Liu. He was 21 years old. He was part of the Marines. He was found asleep on guard duty in Afghanistan one night in April 2011. And according to them, it was like 4th time that he was caught sleeping. And I think the reason why he was sleeping because he was also, like Danny, tortured. That's why he was like constantly tired and like fell asleep during. Why didn't that like connect in their brains that we're overworking this kid? He's not doing his job properly anymore because we're doing too much. Like, in order for a person to function properly, you don't overwork them. Like,
Exactly.
Why didn't that connect in your brain?
I feel like they need therapy themselves because they're probably, I don't know, they probably have their own traumas from the line of duty. But
probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing. Military, they should have therapy. But a quick like background on Harry Liu. So he was ordered to do push-ups, and then they stomped on his back and legs if he didn't do them right, and then they poured sand in his mouth and punched him at the back of his helmet and forced him to dig a chest-deep foxhole. And then at 3:43 a.m., while crouching in the foxhole, he placed the muzzle of his M249 inside his mouth and pulled the trigger. Harry Liu was also 21 years old. These people are so young. Danny Chen was only 19 when he committed suicide. Like, and then months prior to that, it came out while like the whole thing with Danny that there was also another Asian American that suffered the same thing. And throughout like the history of the military, to this day, people of color aren't treated right in the military. Women aren't treated right in the military. They're abused too. Like, was it like just last year, the case of Vanessa Guillen, who was abused? You know, these are people that want to serve our country. Why are we abusing them?
It's so dumb.
You know?
And what I don't understand is how come the statistics are so obvious of what's going on, but then nothing is done to prevent or stop it.
Yeah, it's constantly repeating, and it's not just like them dying. The fact that they die while serving their country is it shouldn't be that way, but there's also this added thing that suicide rates are very high in the military because, especially among the people of color and women, because of the abuse that they go through. Like, why the necessary abuse? Like, they're not going to get raped while they're like out there. They're not going to eat sand while they're out there. They're going to serve their country. Like, I don't know why there's a need to do all of this.
I'm also, yeah, it's such a power trip.
Power trip, exactly.
Now that I think about it, I don't know if you know this, but when I was younger, I wanted to be part of the military. I told yeah,
No.
I know, right? Can you imagine me in the military? I don't even like the fucking sun. But I used to want to be, I can't even remember why. And then the only reason why I didn't join, because I literally told my parents, send me to military school after high school. The only reason why I didn't is because my dad said I had to eat fast. Because, like, you know how you don't have time? Or, like, even if you're not done with your food, if you need to go, you have to go. And I'm like, I am not willing. I will eat at my pace.
Shit.
Will enjoy my food.
Yeah, I can't do that too. Also, like, in one of Danny's letters, he mentioned, like, they would not shower for weeks. And when they do, it's only, like, 15-second shower. I'm like, what the fuck is a 15-second shower?
You're literally just, like, getting, what? Like, you're just wetting your skin, and then that's it? How does that work?
It's so crazy. Like, why do we need to put these people? I get that while you're out there, it's not comfortable, the situations are hard, like, you're always in a hurry. But, like, I don't know. Why is the military that way? Can someone explain it to us? To those that have been in the military, like, please. And I'm pretty sure, like, torture isn't just exclusive to people of color. I'm sure there are, like, white folks out there that have been tortured too, just because power tripping. But it mostly happens to people of color.
Yeah.
Like, in the year that Danny Chen, this happened, there were other stories of, like, other races as well. African Americans. There were, like, Middle Easterns that grew up in America that wanted to serve their country, and they were not treated well. Like, it's so fucked up why they would do that. I don't know. I don't understand. But yeah, Danny's cousin, Banny Chen, it's so cute that their names are almost the same.
Yes.
But yeah, he was asked what, like, his thoughts on, like, the soldiers who were charged in connection with his cousin's death and how, like, unjust the results were. He said that at this point, justice for me would be if Danny's story could be told more and more so that this could never happen again. And in 2018, Danny's story was turned into an opera, and it was even
I'm having goosebumps.
in the list of, like, yeah, it was even in the list of, like, one of, like, the best operas in 2018 by New York Times. So yeah, at least his story still lives on. But the thing is, the reason why we should constantly tell Danny's story and Harry's story is because, like, it's still happening.
It's not over.
To this day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this happened 10 years ago, 2011. We're in 2021.
Stop!
And the same shit. Yep, dude, 10 years ago.
Stop! Why did I... Oh my god, we were talking about 2011, and then I was just thinking, like, 4 years ago?
This is a couple years ago, yeah.
And then, oh my
This was 10
god.
years ago. And it's exactly the same. And to think, like, last year, 2020, same thing happened. There was, like, the issue with Vanessa Guillen and, like, other people as well. Like, why is this still happening? Let's fix our system. I'm not from the US, but someone who's, like, an outsider looking at you guys are supposed to be the most powerful country in the whole world. Why is this shit still happening?
It's insane. I actually have a shorty about racism few months back. And technically, the concept of race does not exist. Like, sorry. Race is not in your genes. Like, this was created because of capitalism. So it stemmed from slavery. There's this dude who was commissioned by the king so he was like, he needed to make up a reason why slaves were inferior, and that's why we should exploit them. And that's where like the whole concept of racism or race started.
And colonization shit.
Yes. Yes. It's crazy because like it's not even just in US. Have I told you? Oh my god, wait. Sorry. This is going to be tea. But if you still
What?
have more information on the
No.
the topic we have.
I was literally about to say that's the story of Danny. Danny Chen.
No, it's insane how these things don't just go one way. It's not so because the majority is people of color and we usually get the discrimination. That's why we hear most of it, but it also happens here in Asia. So there's this one time my friend, you know her, we came from class and when she went to the MRT, we took separate trains and she saw this like old lady who did not have anyone sitting beside her. So she was like, oh, okay, I'll sit beside this woman because my train ride is forever. And then, you know, so Diana doesn't look like full on Asian. She looks Hispanic. And so this old lady was like, are you half Angmo? That's their term here for white. And then she's like, no, why? And then I think the old lady didn't hear her. So she kept asking, is your father white? Is your mother white? Or whatever. And then she starts saying, I don't like it when people mix. You see, my family, we don't mix. We marry Chinese. We're only Chinese. And she made it sound so bad. And like, I swear it blew my mind when I heard this story because it just doesn't make sense to me, you know?
Yeah.
And she made it sound so bad. And plus, our friend was not even half. She just didn't look Asian.
Yeah.
And she got like racist remarks because of that. So she just went away.
It's so crazy. Like we can't even like other people of a certain race because it's wrong. Like I don't know what is going on. I don't. Why? I don't understand. And usually these people are the ones that actually like other races secretly.
Low key, yes.
But I could go on and on and on. But yeah. So that's it.
I wonder, have you tried? Luckily, I've never. I don't want to ever experience racism. But have you?
I don't think so. I don't really talk to people.
Well, sometimes they talk to you.
Yeah. No, I've never been outside of the Asian continent. So, yeah. So, I've heard of stories like other people from other parts of Southeast Asia, they don't like Filipinos because we're known to be like noisy. But so far, my experience is the opposite. Like, when they found out that we were Filipino, they were like, holy shit, Manny Pacquiao. And
it's like, love you.
Like, yeah. Cool.
Damn.
Yeah. That's what I'm afraid of, actually. Like, I'm afraid of, like, traveling somewhere that isn't, like, let's say in Japan or Korea. They're, like, known to be, like, the more superior, not known, but, like, that's what
the superior Asians.
They are, like, the superior Asians. Because we're from the third world country and shit. And, you know, that's what I'm afraid of. Like, what if they're, like, racist towards me being Southeast Asian? It is so crazy, the concept of racism. Like, y'all, let us live.
I don't even get it.
I didn't choose my race. If I were to choose, I wouldn't be alive, honestly. Like, I would not exist.
Same. It was our parents' choice. Please, if you have an issue, talk to my mom, talk to my dad.
Why are you mad at me for existing when I didn't create myself? What the fuck is wrong with, like, why are we so hard on each other? Whatever.
Woo!
But yeah, be nicer, because it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't even cost anything.
Also, like, the world now is so mean to each other. I feel like the punk rock thing to do now is to be nicer. Because before, you know, everyone was nice. But now everyone's bitter and well, I mean, I feel like everyone was bitter before, but like our beliefs are different now. So like, be punk rock, be nice,
Be nice.
because you know, punk is like not punk rock, but punk is now like
Punk's not
going
dead.
against, going against what am I trying to say? Y'all better follow us if you have stories that you want us to cover. You can email it to us at creepyconvos@gmail.com or submit it to our website, creepyconvos.com.
I love this segue.
creepyconversations.com.
But either way, they'd still get to the same website.
Yeah, I needed to segue because I didn't know where I was going. I
No,
need to
this is
shut
the
up.
right direction. This was the right direction. And also, you guys, don't forget to subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your podcast to. Also, don't forget to rate and review.
Great review.
Don't forget, it's 5 stars, okay? Even if your review is shit, y'all, 5 stars. That is all.
Give us 5 stars. Yeah, and also, like, sign up for our Patreon. You get a lot of, like, exclusive content, and you get, like, early access to shit.
Mm.
You get to see our faces, hear more,
You get to
because
see
you have
me
a
eat.
lot of exclusive content. Yeah, you get to see Nikki eat.
That is...
You get to see us without makeup.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes. If you want to see our ugly, y'all know what to do.
Mm. Yep. And what else? Follow our socials. Creepy Combos.
I'm just gonna
And
say
Twitter.
Instagram and Twitter.
At Instagram, Creepy Conversations.
Yeah, don't even bother with Facebook, I swear. It's just there.
Facebook and Twitter, it's just there. We're more on Instagram.
Yeah, if y'all really want to hop on the social media train, we're on Instagram.
You can also message us on Instagram if you have like stories that you want us to cover or want us to share, or
We're very active.
let us know how Baruch
is pronounced. What would you do if it wasn't like anywhere close to that?
It was Bayroch. Bayroach. Like
Rosh. Baruch.
Bayrosh. Bayrosh. I would quit. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. Thanks for creeping, you fucking creeper.
And remember, the government
We'll beat you up.
is always watching you, except when you're in the military, because they apparently don't give a fuck.
Bye.